There's a specific kind of torture in wanting someone you can't have. In lying awake at night, knowing they're just down the hall. Close enough to touch. Close enough to ruin everything. For 9 years, I've watched Milena Hartley grow from a broken 15-year-old into the most breathtaking woman I've ever known. For 9 years, I've kept my distance, kept my promise, kept my hands to myself and my intentions clean. But tonight she turns 25. Tonight, everything changes. My name is Adrian Cole. And this is the story of how I fell in love with the one person in the world I was supposed to protect, not claim. They say forbidden love is the sweetest. They're wrong. It's agony. Deep agony that breaks my heart as she whispers my name. Adrian. I stand frozen, fighting my urge to grab her. To have her without thinking about consequences. Go back to sleep, Milena. I say, wearing my best restraint. What if I don't want to? She moves closer. Then God help us both. Chapter 1. 3 weeks. That's all that stood between Milena and her 25th birthday. The night she could officially challenge for Alpha. The night that would change everything. I told myself I'd make it. 3 more weeks of keeping my distance, of pretending I didn't want her, and then she'd be free. She'd choose some appropriate mate. Someone her own age. Someone who hadn't changed her bandages and dried her tears and tucked her into bed for nearly a decade. Someone who wasn't me. I found her in the clearing at dawn, like always. She trained when she couldn't sleep, which lately was every night. I knew because I couldn't sleep either. The mate bond, unspoken, unacknowledged, kept me aware of her every restless moment. Your stance is off, I said, stepping into the clearing. She didn't startle. She never did. She always knew when I was close. Then fix it, Milena said, not looking at me. That was the problem. She'd been challenging me like this for months. Little tests. Little invitations to cross the line I'd drawn in blood and willpower. I moved behind her, hands hovering over her hips. May I? You've never asked permission before. You're not a child anymore. The words came out rougher than I intended. No, she breathed. I'm not. My hands settled on her hips, adjusting her stance. Her body was warm, strong, perfect under my touch. She fit against me like she was made for it. Like we were made for this. Wider, I said, nudging her feet apart with mine. She obeyed, and the movement her back pressed against my chest. I felt her sharp intake of breath, felt the way her body tensed and melted simultaneously. Adrian. My name was barely a whisper. Focus, I said, even though I was the one losing focus. If an enemy comes at you from this angle, I'm not thinking about enemies right now. My hands tightened on her hips. Milena. She turned in my arms, too fast for me to step back. And suddenly we were face to face, her hands on my chest, my hands still gripping her hips. You're distracted, I managed. You're distracting me? She shot back, eyes blazing. You've been distracting me for years, Adrian. When are you going to admit it goes both ways? I stepped back like she'd burned me, put 3 feet of safe distance between us. Shoved my hands in my pockets so I wouldn't reach for her again. We have a pack meeting tonight, I said, voice carefully neutral. Damien Cross arrives today. He's coming to formally court you. Something flickered in Milena's eyes. Hurt, anger, resignation. Of course he is, she said quietly. And you'll stand there and watch, won't you? You'll watch him touch me, court me, claim me. And you won't say a damn word. Milena, forget it. She grabbed her jacket. I need to go. Wouldn't want to be late for my own courtship. She brushed past me, close enough that I could smell her. Vanilla and pine and something uniquely hers. Close enough that my wolf howled for me to grab her, keep her, make her mine. I let her go. I always let her go. 3 weeks. I could survive 3 weeks. I was wrong. Chapter 2. Damien Cross was perfect. That was the problem. He was 29, handsome in that classical way. Strong jaw, easy smile, confident without being arrogant. Alpha of the Crescent Moon Pack, wealthy, respected. He brought Milena gifts. Rare herbs for healing, a hand-carved wolf totem, a promise of alliance between our packs. Everyone loved him. I hated him on sight. "You're going to break that," Sophie murmured, appearing at my elbow. Sophie had been Milena's best friend since childhood, which meant she saw entirely too much. "I'm fine," I said. "You're a terrible liar." She studied my face. "You know this is torture, right? You're torturing yourself and her. She deserves someone like him. She deserves someone she actually wants." Sophie's voice dropped. "Someone who looks at her the way you do when you think no one's watching." "Sophie, you're going to break your own heart, Adrian. Hers too. And for what? Some misplaced sense of honor." I watched Damien lean in, whisper something that made Milena laugh. It was a polite laugh, not her real one. I knew the difference, but it still felt like claws raking down my spine. My wolf snarled inside me. Mine, it growled. "Ours. Make him leave." I took a long drink, trying to drown the instinct. Damien's hand settled on the small of Milena's back, and I saw her stiffen slightly, saw her eyes flicker to me across the room. The look in them said, "Save me." But I couldn't. I was the one she needed saving from. I thought I'd escaped when the party ended. Stood on the porch of the house we shared, breathing in the night air, trying to get my wolf under control. "You didn't say anything all night." I didn't turn around. I'd know her voice anywhere, the way it wrapped around me like silk. "What did you want me to say, Milena? That you don't want me to do this?" She moved closer. I could feel her warmth at my back. "That you don't want me with him. What I want doesn't matter. It matters to me." Her voice cracked slightly, and that crack nearly broke me. "Adrian, look at me. Please." I turned. Mistake. She was close enough to touch, still wearing the dress she'd worn for Damien. Deep green, her eyes impossibly bright in the moonlight. "You looked beautiful tonight," I said, because I couldn't help it. "I looked beautiful for you," she said. "I always dress for you, train for you, try for you. When are you going to see that?" "I see it." My voice was raw. "God, Milena, I see everything. That's the problem." "Then why?" "Because I'm 33 and you're 24. Because I was your guardian. Because every person at that party saw him as your future and me as your past. Because..." I stopped, chest heaving. "Because what?" "Because I'm terrified," I admitted. "Terrified that what I feel isn't real. That I manipulated you somehow without meaning to. That I took advantage of." "Stop." She grabbed my arms, nails digging in. "Adrian Cole, I have wanted you since I was 18 years old. Since the night you taught me to dance before my first pack formal. Since you held me while I cried over my parents for the 100th time and didn't make me feel weak. Since I realized that safety and desire could be the same thing. So don't you dare tell me what I feel." We were breathing hard, inches apart. Her hands on my arms, my hands clenched to keep from touching her back. "You should go inside," I said. "You should stop telling me what to do. Milena, kiss me." It wasn't a question. It was a challenge. "I can't." "Can't? Or won't?" "If I kiss you..." I stopped, jaw clenching. "If I kiss you, I won't stop. Do you understand? 9 years of wanting you, and you think one kiss will be enough." Her eyes went dark. "Who said anything about stopping?" Headlights swept across the driveway. We jumped apart like guilty teenagers. Damien's car, returning, he'd forgotten his jacket. "Milena," he called, getting out. "I hope it's not too late." "Oh." He stopped, seeing us on the porch, seeing how close we'd been standing. "Damien," Milena said, voice strained. "Your jacket." "I'll get it." She disappeared inside. Damien looked at me, and something passed between us. Recognition. Challenge. She talks about you a lot, he said carefully. Her guardian. The man who raised her. I didn't raise her. I protected her. Is that all? His tone wasn't accusatory, just curious. Because the way she looks at you, that's not how someone looks at their guardian, Adrian. She deserves better than you. He laughed softly. Maybe she should decide that. Milena returned with his jacket. Damien took it, smiled at her, nodded at me. Thank you for a lovely evening. I'll call you tomorrow about our date. Date? Milena looked blank. Dinner. You agreed. Remember? Right? Yes. Tomorrow. She sounded mechanical. He left. Silence fell between us, heavy with everything unsaid. I should go inside, Milena said finally. Yeah. She walked to the door, paused with her hand on the frame. For the record, I would have chosen you. I've been choosing you for years, Adrian. You're just too scared to let me. The door closed behind her. I stood there until dawn, her words echoing. I would have chosen you. I didn't sleep that night, didn't even try, because I knew, I'd always known, that I'd never be able to let her go. The only question was, how much would we both have to lose before I stopped fighting it? Chapter 3. For 2 days I tried to give her space. Stayed in my room. Avoided the kitchen when she was cooking. Left for runs before she woke up. It was torture. The house felt wrong without her presence. Too quiet. Too cold. The mate bond, that thing I'd been denying for years, pulled at me like a physical ache. I lasted until 2 a.m. before I heard her footsteps in the hall. Adrian. Her voice, soft outside my office door. I know you're awake. Go to bed, Milena. We need to talk. It's 2 a.m. Then it's the perfect time. No one to interrupt. No one to overhear. Just us. She opened the door without waiting for permission. She was wearing sleep shorts and a tank top, hair loose around her shoulders. No makeup. No pretense. Just Milena, raw and real and devastating. I stayed behind my desk. Safe distance. We need to establish boundaries, I said, forcing my voice to stay level. Now? She laughed, but it wasn't amused. After 9 years, now you want boundaries? Milena, don't. She moved closer. Don't say my name like that. Like what? Like a prayer. Like it hurts. Like you're trying not to feel what you're feeling. She was in front of the desk now. I heard you the other night, after Damien left. You stood on that porch until dawn. You were watching? I've always been watching, Adrian. Just like you've always been watching me. She braced her hands on the desk, leaning forward. When did it change for you? When did I stop being the broken girl you had to protect and become whatever I am now? I stood, putting the desk between us like a barrier. Like it could actually stop what was building between us. You want to know when it changed? My voice came out harsh. It never changed, Milena. That's the problem. You were always you. From the first moment I met you. 13 years old, fierce even in grief. I knew you were going to ruin me. I just didn't know how completely. Her breath caught. Adrian, you want the truth? Fine. I noticed you at 18. Really noticed you. And I hated myself for it. You deserved better than the man who was supposed to be your guardian, your protector, looking at you like you wanted me? Like I was starving and you were salvation. I gripped the desk edge. So I pulled back, drew every line I could think of, convinced myself it was temporary, that it would pass. But it didn't pass, Milena. It got worse. Every year, every day, every moment I spent with you made it worse. She walked around the desk slowly, deliberately. I should have stepped back. I didn't. You're telling me you've wanted me for 6 years? She said softly. 7. Since you were 18. And I've hated myself for every second of it. Why? She was close enough to touch now. Why hate yourself for something that feels this right? Because you were 18 and I was 26. Because I was your guardian. Because you're afraid, she finished. Afraid that wanting me makes you like those men who abuse their power. Afraid that I only want you because you're safe, familiar. Afraid that my feelings aren't real. Yes, I admitted roughly. Then let me make this clear. Her hand came up, fingers tracing my jaw. I shuddered at the contact. I don't want you because you're safe. I want you because when you look at me, I feel seen. Not the orphan, not the future alpha, not Milena Hartley's daughter, just me. I don't want you because you protected me. I want you because you let me be strong. You never treated me like I was broken, even when I was. Milena. And I sure as hell don't want you because I'm confused or dependent. Her voice dropped, went husky. I want you because when you train with me, I feel your control slip. I want you because you stand on the porch at 2 a.m. fighting yourself. I want you because you're trying so hard to be noble that you're making us both miserable. I can't. My voice broke. I can't be selfish about this. Why not? Her other hand pressed against my chest, over my racing heart. I'm being selfish. I'm standing here, practically begging you to want me back. Where's my nobility? My hands came up, instinct, need, cupping her face like I'd wanted to for years. Her skin was soft, warm, real. She leaned into the touch, eyes fluttering closed. This is a mistake, I whispered. Then make it with me. I was lowering my head. She was rising on her toes, our breath mingling. My phone rang, loud, jarring. The screen lit up. Pack emergency. We jerked apart, reality crashing back. I grabbed the phone. Cole. It's Vera, the elder's voice said. Someone reported seeing you and Milena in a compromising position on the porch 2 nights ago. Emergency council meeting. Tomorrow noon. Both of you. The line went dead. Milena stared at me, face pale. They saw us. We didn't do anything. We almost did. And apparently that's enough. She laughed bitterly. What happens now? Now? I ran a hand through my hair. Now they're going to accuse me of exactly what I've been terrified of. Grooming you. Taking advantage. Abusing my power. That's insane. Is it? I looked at her. Milena, we live together. I'm your guardian. You're about to turn 25. And we almost kissed. They're not wrong to question it. So what, we just stop? Pretend we don't feel this. Maybe that's for the best. No, her voice went hard. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not letting them make you into a monster and me into a victim. I'm not letting fear win. This isn't about fear. It's only about fear. She was yelling now, angry tears in her eyes. You're terrified of being like those men who abuse power. I'm terrified of losing you. And we're both so scared that we're destroying what we have before we even give it a chance. Milena, I love you. The words exploded out of her. I'm in love with you, Adrian. Have been for years. And you can stand here and talk about nobility and boundaries and propriety all you want. But it doesn't change the fact that I love you. Silence. The words hung between us like a confession, like a curse. Say something, she whispered. I can't. My voice was wrecked. Milena, if I say it back, if I admit it, then tomorrow when they accuse me they'll be right. They'll say I manipulated you, and maybe they won't be wrong. You didn't manipulate me. You're 24. I'm 33. I've been in your life since you were 15. How do we know? How do I know I didn't? Because I know. She grabbed my shirt, yanking me closer. I know my own mind. I know my own heart. And I know that what I feel for you has nothing to do with gratitude or dependency or anything except the fact that you are the best man I've ever known. And I want you more than I want my next breath. I broke. Just shattered. Years of control gone in an instant. From the beginning, I said roughly, hands framing her face. God help me, Milena. It's been you from the beginning. Not when you turned 18, not when you became beautiful, though you did, Christ, you did. But before that. The first time you laughed after your parents died. The first time you won a sparring match. The first time you looked at me and I saw your father's strength in your eyes and your mother's fire in your smile. That's when I knew. And I've been in love with you ever since. Her eyes were wet. Adrian, that's why I have to let you go. I forced myself to step back, drop my hands. Because I love you enough to give you the choice I never had. The choice to walk away from the man who raised you and find someone who didn't. I don't want someone else. You will. Someday. And when you do, you'll thank me. I walked to the door. Where are you going? Her voice was small. To Isaac's. I'll stay there until the council meeting. It's better if we're not under the same roof. Adrian, please? I'm sorry, Milena. I'm sorry I'm not strong enough to be what you need. I left before she could see me break. I made it to my car before the first sob hit. 9 years of wanting her, loving her, protecting her. And in the end, I was protecting her from myself. Chapter 4. The council chamber felt like a courtroom. Maybe because that's exactly what it was. Vera stood at the center, ancient and imperious. We're here because a sacred trust has been violated. A guardian has crossed lines with his ward. Nothing happened, Milena said immediately. We didn't. You were seen. Vera cut her off. Witnesses reported seeing you in an intimate embrace on your porch. Night. Alone. Adrian's hands on your face. Your bodies. Enough. Alpha Garrett raised a hand. He was weak, past his prime, but still technically in charge. Adrian. You were entrusted with Milena's protection. Her parents, your best friend, died believing you'd keep her safe. Not seduce her. I haven't seduced anyone, I said, voice tight. Haven't you? Vera's eyes were cold. You live alone with her. You train with her. You've been her sole male influence for nearly a decade. Tell me, Adrian, when a young woman only knows one man intimately, is it any wonder she confuses gratitude with love? Don't. Milena's voice cut like a blade. Don't you dare speak for me. I'm not confused. I'm not a child. And I'm not some victim who doesn't know her own mind. You're 24. I'm about to be 25. About to challenge for Alpha. About to lead this pack. And you want to stand there and tell me I don't know what I want? One of the council members, Marcus, spoke up. We're not saying you don't know. We're saying you've been influenced. Shaped. Adrian has had 9 years to mold you into. Into what? Milena's voice rose. Into someone strong? Someone capable? Someone who can lead. Into someone who thinks she loves him. The words fell like stones. Vera, Alpha Garrett said quietly. That's a serious accusation. It's a serious situation. Adrian Cole needs to step down as Milena's guardian. Immediately. He needs to move out of the house. And Milena needs time. Away from him. To discover who she is without his influence. No, Milena said. This isn't a request. I don't care. Milena stepped forward. You can't make him leave. We can. We are. For your own protection. She's right. Everyone turned to look at me. Milena's eyes went wide with betrayal. Adrian, no. She's right. I repeated, looking at the council, not at Milena. I should step down. Move out. Give Milena space to figure things out without my presence complicating everything. What are you doing? Milena whispered. The right thing, I said. Finally. You can't. I already have. I turned to Alpha Garrett. I'll be out of the house by tonight. Milena can focus on her challenge without distraction. Without... I couldn't say it. Couldn't say me. The council murmured approval. Vera looked satisfied. Alpha Garrett looked relieved. Milena looked destroyed. Meeting adjourned, Garrett said. Adrian. We thank you for your service and your discretion. I nodded, walked out, didn't look back. I heard her follow me into the hallway. Adrian, wait. Don't. I kept walking. You don't get to do this. She grabbed my arm, spinning me around. You don't get to make decisions for me. I'm making them for both of us. By leaving, by giving up, by giving you what you need: space, time, freedom to choose without me in the way. I don't want space. I don't want time. I want you. She was shouting now, not caring who heard. Why can't you get that through your thick skull? Because I'm the adult. I was supposed to protect you, not... I stopped, jaw clenching. Not what? Love me? Want me? Treat me like an equal? You're not my equal, Milena. I'm 33 and you're 24. I was your guardian. I held you when you cried, taught you to fight, tucked you into bed. When I was 15. Not now. I'm not that girl anymore. I know. And that's the problem. I pulled my arm free. Because the man who did all those things shouldn't want the woman you became. It's wrong. Says who? Them? She gestured to the council chamber. Or you. Both. Me. Milena, what if they're right? What if I did influence you somehow? What if? What if you're so terrified of being a bad man that you can't see you're the best man I know? Her voice cracked. What if you're so busy protecting me that you're destroying us both? I stepped closer, close enough to see the tears she was fighting. I need you to hear this, I said quietly. Really hear it. If I stay, I won't be able to stop. I won't be able to keep my hands off you. I won't be able to watch you with Damien or anyone else without it killing me. I won't be able to be noble or appropriate or anything except a man who wants you so badly it's tearing me apart. Is that what you want? Me losing control? Yes, she breathed. God, yes. Adrian, I want all of it. The messy, the complicated, the inappropriate? I finished harshly. The scandalous? The age gap and the power dynamic and every reason this is wrong. None of that matters. It all matters. I was barely holding it together. Your parents trusted me. They died trusting me. And if I take advantage of that trust by... My parents are dead. The words exploded out of her. They're dead, Adrian. And I'm alive. And I'm standing here begging you to see me. Really see me. Not as their daughter or your ward, but as a woman who loves you. I do see you, I said, voice raw. That's why I have to leave. Because when I look at you, I don't see my ward. I see my future. I see forever. And that terrifies me, Milena. Because people like me don't get forevers with people like you. People like me? People who deserve better. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she laughed. Bitter, broken. You're right, she said. I do deserve better. I deserve someone brave enough to choose me. Someone who doesn't hide behind noble excuses. Someone who fights for what they want instead of running away. The words hit like physical blows. Milena. No. You made your choice. So I'm making mine. She stepped back. I'm done begging. I'm done convincing you that my feelings are real. When you figure out that loving someone isn't about protecting them from yourself, you know where to find me. She walked away. I let her. Again. That night, I packed 9 years of my life into boxes. Every book I'd bought her. Every training weapon we'd used together. Every memory we'd made. In the next room, I could hear her crying. Quiet, muffled sobs she thought I couldn't hear. But I heard everything. Always had. The mate bond made sure of that. I headed for her but halted at the door. My hand touched her door. Forehead pressed against the wood. So close. So impossible. Adrian. Her voice, thick with tears. I'm sorry, I whispered. Milena, I'm so sorry. Then stay. I can't. You mean you won't? Silence. Goodbye, Adrian. Goodbye. I left that night. Took my boxes to Isaac's place. Tried to sleep in a bed that didn't smell like her. Failed. 13 days until her birthday. 13 days until she challenged for alpha. 13 days until she'd be free of me completely. I told myself I could survive 13 days. I was lying, because neither of us knew. Damien Cross wasn't here for a courtship. And the thing I'd been hunting for 9 years? It was finally ready to strike. Chapter 5. 3 days without her felt like 3 years. You look like hell, Isaac said, tossing me a beer. Thanks. When's the last time you slept? Does it matter? Isaac sighed. Man, you need to either go get her or let her go. This half-in, half-out thing is killing you. I'm giving her space, like everyone wanted. Everyone? Or just you? I glared at him. Adrian, real talk? Isaac sat across from me. I was there 9 years ago. I saw you take on guardian duties for a 15-year-old girl when you were barely an adult yourself. I watched you sacrifice your own life, your own future, to honor a deathbed promise. You're the most honorable man I know. But at some point, honor becomes an excuse. You're not protecting her. You're protecting yourself from the possibility that this could work. My phone buzzed. Sophie's name lit up the screen. Tell me you're sitting down, she said when I answered. What happened? Is Milena? She's fine. Physically. Emotionally. She's a wreck. Won't eat, won't train. Just stares at walls like she's waiting for something that's never coming. Sophie's voice hardened. Which, congratulations, is exactly what's happening. Sophie. She's falling apart, Adrian. The girl who survived her parents' death, who rebuilt herself from nothing, who became strong enough to challenge for alpha. She's breaking. And it's not the pack politics doing it. It's you. Guilt twisted in my gut. I'm trying to do the right thing. The right thing? Or the easy thing? There's nothing easy about this. Then why does it feel like you gave up the second things got hard? There's something else, Sophie added, her tone shifting. Damien showed up at the house today. Wanted to check on Milena. I was there, thank God. My entire body tensed. What happened? He was off. Not threatening but desperate. Started asking weird questions about Milena's bloodline. Her genetics. Whether she had any unique traits. What kind of traits? I don't know. He clammed up when I pushed. But Adrian. Sophie's voice dropped to a whisper. I did some digging. His pack isn't just small. It's dying. Genetic degradation. They've been inbreeding for decades to keep their bloodlines pure. And now they're paying the price. Stillbirths, early deaths. Wolves who can't shift properly. My blood ran cold. How long have you known this? I just found out today. I called you immediately. Sophie, listen to me. Don't leave Milena alone with him. Not for a second. Why? What do you think he wants? Her bloodline? I said slowly, pieces clicking into place. Milena's parents were both alphas from different packs. That's rare hybrid vigor. Their genetics would be exactly what a dying pack would need. Sophie finished. Oh God. You think he's here to force a mating bond, get her pregnant, use her genetics to save his pack? I was already grabbing my keys. Where is she now? Home. Alone. She told me to leave an hour ago. Said she wanted to be by herself. I'm 5 minutes away. Call her. Tell her to lock the doors and don't answer for anyone but me. Adrian. Do it. I hung up. Ran for my truck. 9 years. 9 years I'd protected her from external threats while drowning in the fear that I was the biggest threat of all. But I'd been wrong. The real danger wasn't me loving her. It was me not being there when she needed me most.
Chapter 6. I heard the knock around 7 p.m. Milena? It's Damien. Can we talk? I almost didn't answer. Almost told him to go away. But I was tired, so tired, of sitting in this empty house, surrounded by memories of Adrian, slowly suffocating on everything we'd never said. Maybe talking to someone else would help. I opened the door. Thank you, Damien said, stepping inside. I know this is unexpected, but I need to be honest with you about something. Okay? He closed the door behind him. Locked it. My instincts prickled. Damien? I'm not here to court you, he said, and his easy smile was gone. In its place was something harder. Desperate. I never was. I'm here because my pack is dying, Milena. And you're the only one who can save them. I stepped back. I don't understand. Your bloodline. Hybrid alpha genetics. If we mate, if we produce heirs, the genetic infusion could reverse decades of degradation. Save my pack from extinction. No, I'm not some breeding stock. I know how it sounds. He moved closer. I moved back. But this isn't about what I want. It's about 43 wolves who will die out in 2 generations if something doesn't change. Children who won't be born. Families that will end. My sister can't carry a pregnancy to term, Milena. My mother lost 3 pups. We're desperate. So you lied? This whole courtship was a lie? Not a lie. A mission. His voice hardened. One I intend to complete. My wolf surged forward. Get out of my house. I can't do that. The full moon is in 3 days, your birthday. If we mate then, the bond will be permanent. You'll be mine, and our packs will merge. It's the only way. I'm not mating with you. You don't have a choice. He lunged. I was fast, but he was faster, older, more experienced. We crashed into the living room, claws extending, teeth bared. I don't want to hurt you, he growled, pinning me. But I will if I have to. My pack comes first. Get OFF. The front door exploded inward. Adrian stood in the doorway, and I'd never seen him like this. His eyes were pure gold, wolf fully present, his body coiled with lethal intent. Get your hands off her, he said, voice barely human. Now. Damien released me, backing up. Adrian. This isn't your concern. Like hell it's not my concern. Adrian moved into the room, and even Damien, an alpha, stepped back from the raw dominance rolling off him. You have 3 seconds to leave before I tear your throat out. You can't. 1. She's not yours. 2. Adrian, my pack is dying. You have to understand. 3. Adrian shifted mid-lunge, faster than I'd ever seen him move. Wolf form, massive and gray, teeth bared. Damien shifted too, but he was slower, smaller. They collided in a fury of snarls and snapping jaws. Stop! I screamed. Both of you, stop! They didn't listen. Blood splattered on the floor, Damien's shoulder torn open. Adrian's flank gashed. The house shook with the violence of 2 alphas fighting for dominance. For me. I shifted. Let my own wolf rise, smaller than them, but faster. I threw myself between them, teeth bared, a warning growl rumbling from my chest. Both males froze. Enough, I snarled, half human, half wolf. This is my house. My choice. And neither of you get to fight over me like I'm property. Adrian shifted back first, naked and bleeding. Milena. Don't. I shifted back too, grabbed a shirt from the couch and dressed myself. Damien, get out. Now. And if you ever touch me again without permission, what Adrian started, I'll finish. Damien shifted back, holding his shoulder. My pack is not my responsibility, I said coldly. I'm sorry they're dying. Truly. But you lost any chance of my help the second you tried to force me. Milena. Get out! He left, blood trailing behind him. Silence fell. Just me and Adrian, both bleeding, both breathing hard, both trying to process what just happened. You came, I said finally. Always. His voice was rough. Milena, I'm sorry. I should have known, should have suspected. How could you know? Because I've been tracking patterns for 9 years. The words exploded out of him. Packs with genetic problems. Rogues targeting young female alphas. Your parents weren't killed randomly, they were murdered because of what you are. The room spun. What? Adrian moved closer, hands shaking. Your mother wasn't just an alpha. She was a prime alpha, a genetic mutation that occurs once every few generations. Enhanced healing, stronger wolf, perfect genetics. And she passed it to you. I don't understand. You're a prime alpha, Milena. That's why Damien wanted you. That's why your parents hid you here, in the small pack, instead of taking their rightful place in the High Council. And that's why, his voice broke. That's why they're dead. You knew? My voice was small. All this time, you knew what I was? Your father told me the night he died. Made me swear to protect you until you were old enough to protect yourself. That's why I became your guardian. Not just out of friendship or duty, but because if the wrong people found out what you are, they'd use you. Breed you. Turn you into what Damien just tried to do. Yes. I stared at him. 9 years. 9 years of secrets. Why didn't you tell me? To protect you. If you didn't know, you couldn't accidentally reveal it. You mean you didn't trust me? No, Milena, that's not. You've been lying to me for 9 years. Tears burned my eyes. About what I am, about why you stayed, about, God, is any of this real? Or was I just another mission? Don't. Adrian grabbed my arms, desperate. Don't you dare think that. Everything I feel for you is real. The lies were to protect you, not manipulate you. How would I know the difference? You've been keeping secrets from the start. You want the truth? Adrian's control shattered completely. Fine. Here's the truth. I've been in love with you since you were 18. I've been hunting the rogues who killed your parents for 9 years. I've turned down 3 alpha positions, 2 mating offers, and countless opportunities to have my own life because I couldn't leave you. And yes, I lied about what you are. I lied because the thought of anyone using you, hurting you, taking you from me, his voice cracked. It would destroy me, Milena. Completely. Tears streamed down my face. Adrian. I'm not noble. I'm not sacrificing myself for your good. I'm selfish and obsessed and so fucking in love with you that I can't think straight. And maybe that makes me exactly what they accused me of, a man who took advantage of his position. But I can't lie anymore. I can't pretend I don't want you more than I want my next breath. The words hung between us. Raw. Honest. Devastating. You're an idiot, I said finally. He blinked. What? An idiot. A beautiful, noble, self-sacrificing idiot. I moved closer, hands on his chest. You think I didn't know you were holding back? That I couldn't feel it every time you looked at me? Adrian, I've been waiting for you to break for years. Milena. Shut up. My turn. I grabbed his face, forcing him to look at me. I don't care about the age gap. I don't care what the pack thinks. I don't care about prophecies or bloodlines or any of it. I care about you. The man who taught me to be strong. The man who never made me feel weak, even when I was broken. The man who's been hunting my parents' killers for 9 years without telling anyone because he couldn't stand the thought of them winning. I should have told you. Yes, you should have. And we'll fight about that later. But right now? I pressed closer, felt him shudder. Right now, I need you to stop running. Stop protecting me from yourself. And start letting me choose you the way I've been trying to choose you for years. If I do this, if I stop fighting, Adrian's hands came up, sliding into my hair. Milena, I won't be able to let you go. Ever. The mate bond, the claiming, all of it, it'll be permanent. Good. There's no taking it back. I don't want to take it back. The pack will. I kissed him. It wasn't gentle. It was 9 years of want, of denial, of desperate longing finally unleashed. His hands fisted in my hair, pulling me closer. My hands clawed at his shoulders, needing him closer still. We broke apart, breathing hard. No more running, I said against his lips. No more running, he agreed. No more secrets. No more secrets. And Adrian? Yeah. Take me upstairs. His eyes went molten gold. Milena. Now. Please. I've waited long enough. He swept me up, and I wrapped my legs around his waist. We kissed all the way up the stairs, hands everywhere, mouths desperate. He kicked my bedroom door open. Last chance, he breathed against my neck. Tell me to stop and I will. Don't you dare stop. Chapter 7. There are moments in life that divide everything into before and after. This was one of them. Adrian laid me on the bed like I was something precious. Something sacred. His hands trembled as they traced my face, my neck, my collarbone. You're shaking, I whispered. 9 years, he said roughly. I've wanted this, wanted you, for 9 years, Milena. And now that I can finally touch you, I'm terrified I'll wake up and this will be another dream. I pulled him down to me. Does this feel like a dream? Our lips met again, and this time there was no hesitation. No pulling back. His weight settled over me, solid and real and perfect. I arched into him, needing more contact, more heat, more of everything. Milena, he groaned against my mouth. We should slow down. Talk about. No, I nipped his bottom lip. No talking. No thinking. Just feel, Adrian. Just be with me. His control snapped like a wire pulled too tight. His hand slid under my shirt, warm palms against my skin. I gasped, arching into his touch. He pulled back just long enough to pull the fabric over my head, and then his mouth was on my neck, my shoulder, trailing fire everywhere he touched. So beautiful, he murmured against my skin. So perfect. Do you have any idea how many nights I lay awake, imagining this? Tell me, I breathed, hands fumbling with his bare skin. Every night, he replied, we were skin to skin, heat to heat. Every single night, I'd imagine touching you like this. Tasting you. Making you mine. Then do it. I pulled him back down. Make me yours. He paused, forehead against mine, breathing hard. I need to hear you say it, he said. One more time. That this is what you want. That you're sure. I cupped his face, made him look at me. Adrian Cole, I have wanted you since I was 18 years old. I have dreamed about this, ached for this, fought for this. There is nothing in this world I'm more sure about than you. So please, my voice broke slightly. Please stop asking for permission and just love me. Something shifted in his eyes. The last wall crumbling. Always, he whispered. I'll love you always. What happened next was both gentle and fierce. Slow and desperate. He touched me like he was memorizing every inch, like he'd waited so long he couldn't quite believe it was real. And maybe it was the mate bond, or maybe it was just us, but every touch felt like coming home. Like two pieces of a puzzle finally clicking into place. Adrian, I gasped as his mouth traced lower. Oh God. Tell me what you need, he murmured against my skin. Tell me what you want. You. Just you. All of you. He looked up, eyes molten gold, wolf fully present. This is forever, Milena. Once we do this, once we complete the bond, there's no going back. You'll be mine and I'll be yours. Always. Promise? Alpha's oath. And then there were no more words. Just sensation. Just us. Just the overwhelming rightness of finally being together. When he finally entered me, we both froze. Because something shifted, something profound and permanent. The mate bond, no longer denied, snapped into place like a lock finding its key. I could feel him. Not just physically, but emotionally. His love, his desire, his absolute devotion flooding through me like light. Milena, he gasped. Do you feel? Everything, I finished. I feel everything. We moved together, and it was perfect. Not because it was flawless, but because it was us. Real. Raw. Honest. I love you, he said against my lips, my neck, my shoulder. Over and over. I love you, I love you, I love you. Show me, I challenged. And he did. Later, much later, we lay tangled together, skin to skin, heartbeats slowly returning to normal. Adrian's hand traced lazy patterns on my back. My head rested on his chest, listening to the steady thrum of his heartbeat. No regrets? I asked softly. His arms tightened around me. Not a single one. You? Just that we waited so long. He laughed quietly. Fair. Silence settled, comfortable and warm. Adrian? Tell me about the rogues. The ones who killed my parents. His body tensed. Now? No more secrets, remember? He sighed, pressing a kiss to my hair. There were 3 of them, he said quietly. Rogues, but organized. Hunting. Your father realized they were tracking your mother, tracking her scent, her bloodline. He knew what she was, what you'd inherit. So they ran. Came here. Changed their names. Tried to disappear. But the rogues found them anyway. Yes. The night they died, your father called me. Said the rogues had found you. Told me to get you out, keep you safe, never let you know what you were until you were strong enough to defend yourself. And the rogues? I killed 2 of them that night. His voice went hard. The 3rd escaped. I've been hunting him for 9 years. Following reports, tracking patterns, trying to find him before he found you. My blood ran cold. You think he's still out there? I know he is. And Milena, Adrian shifted, making me look at him. The attacks on hikers? The ones the pack blamed on normal wolves? That was him. He's been circling closer, testing our defenses, waiting for the right moment. What moment? Your 25th birthday. When you come into your full prime alpha power. His jaw clenched. That's when you'll be most valuable. Most vulnerable. He's going to make his move soon. Then we kill him first, I said simply. Milena. No. No more protecting me. No more hiding. If he's coming for me, then I'm going to be ready. And this time, I pressed closer. This time, you're not facing him alone. Adrian stared at me for a long moment. Then slowly, he smiled. When did you get so fierce? About 9 years ago, when a stubborn beta taught me I was stronger than I thought. That beta sounds smart. He's an idiot. But he's my idiot. He kissed me, soft and sweet. Forever? Forever. We settled back into comfortable silence. But sleep wouldn't come. Not for either of us. Because somewhere out there, in the dark, something was hunting. And it was getting closer. We had 3 days until the full moon. 3 days until the unknown rogue made his move. 3 days to prepare for the fight of our lives. And this time, we'd face it together.
Chapter 8. The next morning, we faced the pack together. What have you done? Vera shrieked. What I should have done years ago, Milena said calmly, hand in mine. I've chosen my mate. The pack exploded into arguments. Some cheering, some protesting, some simply shocked into silence. Alpha Garrett raised his hand for quiet. This is unprecedented. Is it? Milena challenged. Or is it just inconvenient? Because last I checked, I'm an adult. Adrian is unmated. We're both of age. The only thing unprecedented is that I'm not asking for permission. You were his ward. I was his ward. Past tense. I'm 25 tomorrow. An adult by any standard. And I've made my choice. The impropriety is your problem, not mine. Milena's voice hardened, and I felt her alpha power rising. I'm challenging you tomorrow night, Garrett, for alpha position. And when I win, and I will win, the first thing I'm doing is abolishing the guardian law. No one should have to choose between duty and love. The pack fell silent. If I may, a voice said from the back. Damien stepped forward, shoulder bandaged from our fight. The pack tensed, expecting conflict. I came here with dishonest intentions, he said quietly. I tried to force Milena into something she didn't want. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Milena nodded slightly. Apology accepted. But there's something you all need to know. Damien looked around the room. Milena isn't just an alpha. She's a prime alpha. A genetic mutation that makes her one of the most powerful wolves alive. And there are people who would kill to possess that power. Gasps rippled through the crowd. That's why her parents died, I said, stepping forward. They were murdered by rogues hunting prime alphas. And the rogue who escaped? He's still out there, still hunting. And he's coming for Milena. When? Garrett asked, face pale. Tomorrow night, during the challenge. When she's most vulnerable. Then we fortify, one of the warriors said. Guards on every entrance. Patrols in the forest. It won't be enough, I said. He's been planning this for 9 years. He knows our patterns, our defenses. The only way to stop him is to draw him out. Let him think Milena is vulnerable. Absolutely not, Garrett said. It's the only way, Milena said. If we don't end this tomorrow, he'll just keep coming. Keep hunting. Kill someone else's family. I won't let that happen. You're asking us to use you as bait, Vera said, horrified. I'm asking you to trust me. Milena looked around the room. I'm asking you to let me prove I'm strong enough to be your alpha. And that means facing the thing that killed my parents. Silence. Finally, Garrett nodded. We do this your way. But the entire pack guards the challenge grounds. If this rogue shows up, he won't leave alive. After the meeting, Milena and I stood alone in the empty chamber. Are you scared? She asked quietly. Terrified, I admitted. But not of him. Of losing you right when I've finally found you. She turned in my arms. You're not going to lose me. Milena, if something goes wrong. It won't. But if it does. She kissed me silent. Then we face it together. No more running. No more hiding. Just us. Right? I pulled her closer. Just us. That night we lay together in her bed. Our bed now. Neither of us sleeping. Tell me something, she said in the darkness. Something you've never told anyone. I was quiet for a moment. Sometimes I'm terrified that I wasted 9 years. That we could have had this. I gestured between us. Could have been happy if I'd just been brave enough to reach for it. We weren't ready 9 years ago, she said softly. Either of us. You needed to forgive yourself for wanting me. I needed to grow into someone strong enough to fight for what I wanted. Maybe the timing was always supposed to be now. You really believe that? I have to. Because the alternative, that we lost all that time for nothing, would break my heart. I kissed her temple. Your turn. Tell me something. I used to watch you sleep, she admitted. When I'd have nightmares, I'd sneak to your door and just watch you. It made me feel safe. Made me feel less alone. Milena, I know it's creepy. It's not creepy. I struggled for words. It's us. It's always been us. Hasn't it? Even when we were fighting it. Yeah, she whispered. It has. We held each other through the night, both knowing that tomorrow would change everything. One way or another. The next day dawned cold and clear. Perfect weather for a challenge. Perfect weather for a hunt. By sunset, one of us would be alpha. And if we were lucky, if we were strong enough, we'd both survive to see it. Chapter 9. The challenge grounds were ancient. A circular clearing in the heart of pack territory, surrounded by towering pines. Moonlight flooded the space, turning everything silver and shadow. The entire pack formed a ring around the perimeter. Warriors stationed at every gap. Eyes scanning the forest for threats. In the center stood Milena and Alpha Garrett. I watched from the edge, every instinct screaming to interfere, to protect her. But I couldn't. This was her fight, her moment. And God, she was magnificent. Milena Hartley, Garrett intoned formally. You challenge for the position of Alpha. Do you understand what this means? I do. You will fight until submission or surrender. The pack's safety depends on strength. Show us yours. They circled each other, both in human form, waiting for the first move. Garrett lunged first, experience and speed. But Milena was faster. She dodged, struck back, caught him across the ribs. First blood. The pack murmured. They shifted mid-combat, wolf forms colliding in a fury of fur and fangs. Garrett was larger, older, more brutal. But Milena was quicker, smarter, and she fought like she had something to prove. Which she did. To the pack. To Garrett. To herself. She caught his shoulder, tore deep. He retaliated, catching her flank. They broke apart, circling, bleeding, both breathing hard. You're strong, Garrett said, shifting back to human. But strength isn't enough. An alpha must be willing to kill. An alpha must be willing to protect, Milena corrected, also shifting back. Even if it means showing mercy. Mercy is weakness. No, she said quietly. Fear is weakness. And you've been afraid for too long. You're right, he said, surprising everyone. I've been afraid. Afraid of aging, of losing power, of being forgotten. He lowered his head, the wolf's submission. You're a better alpha than I ever was. I yield. The pack exploded into cheers. Milena Hartley was now alpha. I was moving toward her, ready to celebrate when I felt it. The bond screaming danger. Milena down. She dropped. A massive gray wolf sailed over her. Claws extended, aiming for where her throat had been. The rogue. He landed in the center of the circle and the pack scattered. He was huge, bigger than me, bigger than Garrett, with scars covering his body and eyes that gleamed with madness. Finally, he growled, voice half-human. The prime alpha. I've been hunting you for so long. I shifted mid-run, slamming into him before he could reach Milena. We collided in a tangle of teeth and claws, and the pack roared around us. But he was stronger than before. Faster. Something was wrong. Adrian, Milena screamed. He's been feeding on prime alpha blood. He's enhanced. The rogue threw me off and I crashed into the treeline. Pain exploded through my ribs. Broken. Definitely broken. He turned back to Milena, stalking forward. You'll make me unstoppable. Your power, your bloodline, it'll all be mine. Over my dead body? Milena snarled, shifting into her wolf form. That's the idea. They clashed and it was brutal. The rogue was stronger, but Milena was smarter. She used his size against him, ducking under his attacks, going for tendons and joints. But he caught her, pinned her, jaws closing around her throat. No. I forced myself up, broken ribs screaming. Shifted back to human because I could think better, plan better. Hey, I shouted. You want a prime alpha? Then fight me for her. The rogue paused, Milena still pinned beneath him. You're not prime, he growled. No, but I'm her mate. Kill me, and the bond shock will weaken her enough for you to take her easily. But you have to get through me first. It was a bluff. A desperate, stupid bluff. He bought it. He released Milena, turning toward me. Fine. I'll kill you first. Let her watch. Milena's eyes met mine across the clearing. Through the bond, I felt her understanding. Trust me, I sent through the bond. Always, she sent back. The rogue charged. I didn't move. Let him come. Let him think I was easy prey. At the last second, I dropped, rolled, came up behind him, and Milena struck. She hit him from the side, full force, full prime alpha power. They crashed into the ground, and she tore into his throat. Deep, lethal, final. The rogue gurgled, tried to fight back. But Milena didn't let go. Didn't stop. Not until his body went limp beneath her. Silence fell over the clearing. Milena shifted back to human, covered in blood, his and hers. She was shaking, adrenaline crashing. It's over, she said, voice hollow. He's dead. It's finally over. The pack erupted into cheers. But I only saw her, only moved toward her. She collapsed into my arms, and we sank to the ground together. "You're hurt," she said, hands on my ribs. "I'll heal. Are you?" "I'm okay. We're okay." We held each other while the pack celebrated around us. Alpha and mate, survivors and victors. Together, the rogue was dead. The challenge was won. And Milena Hartley, my Milena, was alpha. But more than that, she was free. We both were. Chapter 10. 3 days after the challenge, we stood before the pack again. But this time it was different. This time it was a celebration. "As your new alpha," Milena said, voice carrying across the gathered wolves, "my first official act is to abolish the guardian law. No wolf should have to choose between duty and love, between honor and happiness." Cheers erupted. Even Vera grudgingly nodded approval. "My second act," Milena continued, reaching for my hand, "is to formally claim Adrian Cole as my mate. Not in secret, not in shame, but publicly, proudly, with the full support of this pack." The cheers grew louder. Sophie stepped forward, carrying the ceremonial bowl, wine mixed with herbs, blessed under the full moon. "Adrian Cole," Milena said, following the ancient ritual, "I claim you as my mate, my equal, my partner in all things. I offer you my strength, my protection, my heart. Do you accept?" "I do," I said, voice rough with emotion. "Milena Hartley, I claim you as my mate, my alpha, my everything. I offer you my loyalty, my devotion, my soul. Do you accept?" "I do." We drank from the bowl, sealing the bond officially. The pack howled in celebration, a sound of pure joy echoing through the forest. Later, as the party continued around us, Milena pulled me aside to the edge of the clearing. "Happy?" she asked, leaning into me. "Deliriously," I admitted. "You? Getting there?" She looked up at me, eyes soft. "Adrian, do you ever regret it? The years you gave up? The life you could have had?" I cupped her face, making her look at me. "Listen to me carefully," I said. "Every choice I made, every sacrifice, every moment of restraint, led me here. To you, to this, and I wouldn't change a single second of it. Because you're not just my mate, Milena. You're my purpose, my home, my forever." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "That's very romantic for a man who spent 9 years running away from me." I laughed. "I wasn't running away. I was waiting for you to catch me." "Liar." "Yeah," I admitted, pulling her closer. "But I'm your liar now." "Damn right you are." "So what happens now?" I asked. "You're alpha. I'm your mate. The rogue is dead. What's next for us?" Milena was quiet for a moment, thinking. "Now, we build something new. Pack that doesn't fear change. That doesn't punish love. That protects the vulnerable without suffocating them." She looked up at me. "And maybe, eventually we start a family. If you want that." My heart stuttered. "A family? Someday. Not now, God, not now. But someday. Little wolf pups with your stubbornness and my determination. Tiny terrors that will run us ragged and fill this house with chaos." "That sounds perfect," I said softly. "Terrifying, but perfect. Everything worth having is a little terrifying." "Speaking from experience?" She grinned. "You terrified me for years. Look how that turned out." I backed her against a tree, slowly, deliberately. Her breath hitched. "You know," I murmured against her ear, "we never properly celebrated your alpha victory." "No?" Her voice went breathy. "What did you have in mind?" "I was thinking—" I kissed her neck. "We could leave this party early. That would be rude. I'm the alpha's mate. I can be rude." She laughed, then gasped as my teeth grazed her pulse point. "Adrian, say the word and I'll stop. Don't you dare." I kissed her properly then, deep, claiming, full of promise. Her hands fisted in my shirt, pulling me closer. The mate bond hummed between us, amplifying every sensation. Bedroom, she managed between kisses. Now, so demanding. I'm the alpha. It's my job. I swept her up into my arms, and she laughed. Pure, unrestrained joy. What are you doing? Carrying my alpha home. Problem? Not even a little bit. Chapter 11. 6 months later. The pack had flourished under Milena's leadership. The old divisions between families had softened. The fear that had governed for so long was replaced with something better, trust. Damien had returned once, to formally apologize and offer an alliance. Milena had accepted, and even helped him find a geneticist who could help his pack. No mating required. Vera had grudgingly admitted that maybe, just maybe, she'd been wrong about the guardian law. And me? I'd never been happier. You're thinking loudly, Milena said, squeezing my hand. Just remembering. Remembering what? The first time I saw you, 15 years old, standing in the rain at your parents' funeral, refusing to cry in front of the pack. I cried later, she admitted, when you carried me home and sat with me all night. I remember that too. I pulled her closer. You've always been strong, Milena, even when you were breaking. I had help. She looked up at me. I had you. We reached the clearing where I'd first found her injured, where this had all started 9 years ago. This is where you saved me, I said quietly. I saved you. That night I was caught in the trap. You could have left me, could have called someone else. But you came. You helped. And something in me knew, even then, that you were going to change my life. Milena's eyes went soft. I think we saved each other. Yeah, I agreed. I think we did. I have something for you, Milena said, reaching into her jacket. She pulled out a small box, and my heart stuttered. Milena, relax. It's not what you think. Or maybe it is. She opened it, revealing a simple silver band etched with wolf designs. Adrian Cole were already mated, already bonded. But I wanted to give you something, a human tradition mixed with our wolf one. Will you wear this? As a symbol that you're mine, I'm yours, and nothing will ever come between us again. I took the ring with shaking hands. On one condition. What? I pulled out a box of my own, smaller, older. Inside was a ring that had belonged to my mother. Simple gold, worn smooth with age. I was waiting for the right moment to give you this, I said. It's not much, but it was hers, and I wanted you to have it. To know that even though she's gone, she would have loved you, would have been proud to call you family. Milena's eyes filled with tears. Adrian, will you wear it? I asked. Not as my alpha, not as my mate, but as my wife? Will you marry me, Milena? In the human way and the wolf way and every way that matters. Yes, she breathed. God, yes. We slipped the rings on each other's fingers, and it felt like another promise, another bond, another way of saying forever. I love you, I said, pulling her close. I love you too. She kissed me softly. From the beginning, Adrian. It's been you from the beginning. And until the end, I finished. It'll be you until the end. We stood there in the clearing, holding each other, as morning light filtered through the trees. What are you thinking about now? Milena asked. How 9 years ago, I thought loving you was the worst thing I could do, I admitted. And now I know it's the best thing I've ever done. Poetic. I have my moments. She laughed, and the sound filled the forest. Filled me. Come on, she said, tugging my hand. Sophie's making breakfast, and if we're late, she'll eat all the bacon. The horror. I'm serious. She has no restraint. I let her pull me back toward the house. Our house now, not just hers. Toward the pack that had become family. Toward the life we were building together. At the edge of the clearing, Milena paused, looking back. Thank you, she said softly. For what? For waiting. For fighting. For loving me even when you thought you shouldn't. She squeezed my hand. For being patient until I was ready to fight for us too. Milena, I would have waited forever. I know. But you don't have to wait anymore. She smiled, brilliant, beautiful, everything. Because I'm right here. And I'm not going anywhere. Promise. Alpha's oath. We walked home together, hands intertwined, rings catching the sunlight. Behind us, the clearing where it all began stood empty. Ahead of us, the future waited. Uncertain, challenging, beautiful. And together we were ready for all of it. Mine, yours, ours, always, until you, the end. And that's our story. 9 years of yearning, of fighting, of loving in secret, all leading to this. A love that was worth every moment of waiting, every moment of pain. If our story moved you, if you felt every ache, every touch, every victory alongside Milena and I, then do me a favor. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me your favorite moment. Was it the first kiss? The challenge? The moment I finally stopped running? And if you want more stories like this, forbidden romances that make your heart race and your soul ache in the best way, then subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Because our author, Wicked Serenity, has more stories coming that will absolutely wreck you in the best possible way. Share this with someone who loves paranormal romance, who understands that the best love stories aren't easy, they're earned. Thank you for going on this journey with Milena and I. Thank you for feeling every moment with our characters. Until next time, keep believing in love that's worth fighting for. This has been Until You. Subscribe for more paranormal romances. Comment your favorite moment. Next story coming soon.